Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome back to the social science session, children. We have completed a lesson in history and geography. So, what is next? We'll start with a new lesson in civics, okay? So, this is again a new word to us. So, let us see what it is. We have seen already in our first session, do you remember? Civics is the study of rights and duties of citizenship. Okay, so many will have a doubt, will still be having a doubt of what is citizenship, right? First we will see who is a citizen, okay? So a person who is entitled, that is a person who has all the rights and duties being in a particular country. Clear? So all the rights and privileges given by a particular state or a country, that person is called as citizen. Not only the rights and privileges, and in turn for that rights and privileges, he has to deliver some duties to the country. He has to follow the laws and rules of the country. So that person is called as a citizen. Clear? So moving to citizenship, the position of holding or a status of being a citizen of a country or a state is called as citizenship. Clear? So the duties and the roles and responsibilities of citizenship is called as civics. Okay? So we are going to start with this lesson, understanding government. Okay? So now tell me, what is government? It is a group of people or a group of leaders who take care, who regulate, who control a particular country or a state. Okay, so the group of people who are responsible for ruling a country or a state. These people are called as government. Simple. Okay, so what do? They ensure the safety of the people, peace in the country, and everyone is treated equally. This is the first and foremost function of a government. Okay, so they ensure peace, equality and safety. Clear? And stability also. Okay, so this is that is if these are followed properly, right? Equality, peace and stability is followed properly in a country, the government puts some rules, laws and regulations. Okay, so it is the controlling authority, okay, which confirms that every citizen gets what he wants. Okay, everyone is treated equally. There may be many differences in a country. Persons may differ by their language, the place they live, the caste, the community, the color, the gender, whatever may be the difference, but the government is the only authority that can make sure that everyone is treated equally, the country is stable in spite of all these differences, and peace is maintained in the country. This is the government. It is the authority which takes care of all these things. So there are various forms of government in various places. Okay, see, we have learnt about king's rule. We have seen about the ministers being elected by the people. So there are many forms of government. We will see first what are those. Okay, the first one is monarchy. Okay, monarchy is nothing but the kingdom or the place, right, which is ruled by a king or a queen or a emperor. Okay, so the rule of the king is called as monarchy. Clear? So the power of monarch, see, how do we say a person is a king or a queen? Because they come in a king's family. If a king is there, his father would have been a king. If a queen is there, the previous generation would have been a king or a queen, right? So after the king comes his son, who is called as prince first, and then he becomes the king. And his son again, his son or daughter becomes the prince or princess of the country, and they rule the country after the king, right? So this is how it is, hereditary. Okay, so it comes under it comes in order. Okay, one after the other in generation. So example for monarchy is Saudi Arabia. Okay, Saudi Arabia, it is still governed by the king's family. Okay, the king's family is called as Al Saud family. Okay, so they rule the country. Then comes dictatorship. We have seen monarchy, then dictatorship. Dictatorship is also similar to monarchy. One person rules the state or country, but the power of this dictator is not hereditary. He gets the power forcefully from someone. Okay, he fights, he defeats the person who is in power, and then he comes to power. That is the dictatorship. So this is under the control of one person, and I said no, the power is forcefully taken. Okay, takes the power forcefully rather than inheritance. Inheritance is, it comes automatically. Okay, but taking forcefully is the work of dictatorship. He fights for the power, he defeats the person, whoever is in power, he kills or he defeats that person and he comes to power. That is the dictator. So and many of the dictators who have been on rule were often from the police or military forces. Okay, and they don't have any limits on power because they are the ruler of the country. No one can question them. They had their own rules. Whatever they say, that has to be followed, right? So some examples are, the country Iraq was ruled by Saddam Hussein and Nazi Germany was ruled by Adolf Hitler. These two people are very famous for their dictatorship. They have treated people like slaves and they have spoiled their own people. Okay. So then comes communist states. Communist state is nothing but all the properties of the country are publicly owned. Okay. No ruler, that is, ruler is there, the person who headed the party was the ruler, that's all. But he can be taken down anytime if he is not going to be correct on his part. Okay. So this is all about communist state. All the properties of the state or country was publicly owned. Okay. And the person, whoever gets his payment, the salary he get, that was not based on the qualification but was based on the need of the person. Okay. It is not that be it engineer or doctor or whoever it is, his salary was not fixed. Okay. If he is from poor family, he will be paid more because he needs to support his family. That is how the payment was there. And all these people together work for the development of the country alone. Okay. So they had no other mottos except for the welfare of the country. So example for communist state is China, Cuba, North Korea. Okay. North Korea was a dictatorship country once, and now it is developing into communist. Then comes anarchy. Okay. Anarchy is nothing but the place where there is no government at all. Okay. No one rules, no one controls, no one imposes, no rules, no regulations, nothing. That is anarchy. So we have there is no government, no one to control, no one is going to stop anything, no regulations, no rules, nothing. Usually what happens, this kind of government occurs only after the war. Probably if a king is killed in the war, okay, there will be no control over the state or country. So this is the state where we call it as anarchy. Okay. The Greek word anarchy means without ruler. Okay. So when there is no one to rule the country, there is no one to take care of the country, it is called as anarchy. And almost everything in the country is not going to be in order in this situation, and it is going to be a complete mess. Okay. So one such example is Afghanistan. Then comes theocracy. Theocracy is nothing but a country or a state being ruled by a person in the name of God. Okay. So with the name of the God, when a person rules a country, it is called as theocracy. And the person who is ruling will be the head of the religion in that particular place. He is a religious authority, or he has all the divine rights. So the example for that is Vatican City headed by the Pope. Okay. Then comes democracy. Democracy is nothing but the power being shared by the people. Okay. So which means it is like people ruling themselves. That is, but people does not rule them directly. They select a representative from themselves. Clear? So people select a representative of, see, shared by the people is nothing but, the people is nothing but the representative. Okay, the representative of the people rules the country. So it is called as the government of the people, by the people and for the people. So people rule themselves, the person selected by the people only is going to rule, and it is the government for the people, it is for themselves. Clear? So examples for democracy is India and United States of America. So moving on in detail about government. In earliest societies, the government consisted of, what was government in ancient period? It was a group of people, elderly people, or the people who were in a respectable position in a particular place. Okay, so in a society they were forming the government. So what happened? Just a group of elders and the respectable society, respectable people of society were the group of government. Okay, later stages, when many rules and regulations and law has come, the government structure, the structure of government became more complex. Okay, so there are many forms of government all over the world, as we seen: monarchy, dictatorship, anarchy, theocracy, democracy, everything. All these types of government are there, but the basic function of the government remains the same all over the world. Okay, so the basic function of the government is definitely going to be the same all over the world for any country. Okay, so first we are going inside the government of India. Okay, so in independent India, when India was declared independent on, when is our Independence Day? India was declared independent on 15th August, year 1947. Okay, so after this date, the leaders, the freedom fighters who were there, they decided that there should not be any discrimination in India. The country should be free from all kind of discrimination. They thought that way, and with that main goal, they framed the Constitution of India. The Constitution of India is nothing but the book of law. Okay, it is the book of law. So the most important function of the government is to enforce the rules and regulations and laws mentioned in the Constitution. So whatever is mentioned in the Constitution, the government has to check that it has been followed properly all over the country. Okay, so that is the first and foremost important function of the government. Then comes in detail about Constitution, some points about Constitution of India. See, the Constitution is a set of rules, okay, which guides in the function of government as well as people. It gives us the rules about how a government should function, how people should behave in a country. Then in the introduction of the Constitution, okay, any book for that matter, there will be an introduction, right? The same way the Constitution also has an introduction. It is called as the preamble. Okay, it is the preamble. So it is mentioned clearly in preamble that India is a sovereign, socialist, secular and democratic republic. India was said like that. So sovereign is nothing but it has all the powers. Okay, socialist is nothing but it is common for all the people, and secular is nothing but in spite of all the differences and all the discriminations, everyone is equal. That is the meaning of secular. Democratic is nothing but it is the rule of the people. We have seen just before, no? All the democratic is the rule of the people, by the people and for the people, and republic is the same way as democratic. So this is mentioned in the introduction of the constitution. So the constitution clearly states that all the Indian citizens are equal in the eyes of law. Before law, the mistake if it is done by anyone, whoever for that matter, they will be treated equally. That is what is mentioned. Then no one should be discriminated. No one shall be discriminated against the caste, religion, gender or language. So based on this, no one should be separated. Okay, and untouchability was abolished and that was declared as a punishable offense. Previously untouchability was there, like the higher class people, they used to have their own places and lower class people cannot move along with the higher class people. Schools were there for higher class people separately, but for lower class people they had a very small schools. The education was not provided to everyone equally like this. Many discrimination was there and one such discrimination was untouchability. So this was declared as a punishable offense under the constitution. Clear? So Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, this is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who played a very important role in framing the Constitution of India. So he is called as the father of Indian Constitution. So you found it interesting about the governments. With this, we are ending our first session, but just wait, we have more to learn about the government. See you soon. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.